What's up, everyone? This is Gail Dudley, and it is time for News in Motion. What a night! What a night. So, I'm operating off of very little sleep, a lot of research, trying to reach out to people, was waiting for people to respond to me. And you know where I'm headed this morning. We want to talk about the Supreme Court of the United States and the draft that was leaked. So I'm going to do as much as I can to cover that. I know for some of you, it's a very heavy subject. For others of you, you're just like, what is going on? And I do want to do what I can. I'm sure you're hearing it on all different news sources this morning. But I want to do my best to dig into this as well. I see you, Camille Hopkins and Regina and Stephanie and Tracy. Yeah, Tracy, right? And Lori. So if y'all see me dozing off, it's because I've had very little sleep. Dana, Tracy said, what's going on? I know what you're saying. Kenny Stanley, Sardinia. Y'all, I believe that tides have just changed. That's how I want to say it this morning. I see you, Patricia Lyles. Good morning, Hester. I see you, Deborah Sneed. We have a lot to talk about this morning. I'm calling this a special segment today, a special Supreme Court of the United States segment. I've done a lot of homework where I dozed off several times last night, still trying to find you all the information that you may be wondering as well. Good morning, Adrian. Good morning, Mary Owens, coming in from LinkedIn. A lot of news. And Politico broke that news last night, right about 9:30, 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. I see you, Ron Robinson. Did I get any sleep, Adrian? I doubt it. I think I dozed off a couple times with my laptop and my hands on the keys of the laptop and waiting for different alerts to come in. And I was piecing all the alerts together and I was trying to authenticate it. And no one has been able to authenticate this draft. So let me say that, but it is out there. I will tell you how it came about, where it came from. I was able to trace the dots. It looks real, but I want to remind everyone, this is just a draft. And to be honest with you all, it's the first draft. This was written in November 2021, and then it was circulated on February the 10th, 2022. So that much I understand. Again, the exact thing has not been authenticated, although it's 98 pages plus an additional 31 pages of appendix. So I've been able to flip through that. I have read what I could read with the alertness that I was able to have. And then making contacts with different people. I actually have the draft as well. I have it on my iPad. I could not print off all those pages. I think there's some high schools. I just got to notice a couple of high schools are joining in. We're going to do our best to break this apart this morning. Then I also have a caution for you. I also have a, I don't know if it's a declaration for you or a call to action for you. We have a lot to unpack here, y'all. Again, what I shared today is not to put you in a place of fear, but it's to put you in a place of alertness and awareness. I know those two words mean the same, but they both sound good to say both of them. So I see you, Jeffrey Allen James, and thank you, Adrian, for praying for me. I'm really tired, okay? And it's not helping because I'm fighting a sinus headache with the weather. What weather do we have in Ohio? I really don't know anymore. But hey, it is what it is. If you want others who have questions, say, hey, come check out News in Motion. What makes us different? Again, I know you've heard this probably since you woke up this morning before you went to bed last night. I actually am going to break it apart as much as I can, along with giving you a call to action. I see you, Marion. So with that, let's get this news started.
partner.
I see you, brother Elder Jeffrey Payne, coming in from YouTube. I see my brother Lewis Pryor. Yeah, Lori, all this different weather at the same time. It's interesting. It's changing like even within the day. All right, y'all, today is Tuesday, May 3rd. If you are in Ohio and you have not already casted your ballot, be sure to do that today. I believe polls close at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. These are the primaries that will lead us to the midterm election. I'm waking up this morning thinking, am I getting ready to flip my ticket today after getting the news on yesterday? Y'all, I want to say this. This is one reason why. I see you, Latrice Jones. This is one reason why I like to wait to the day of the election. I know I don't always do it, and I know people are calling you not to do it because you could not be here today. But listen. Based upon the information I received in the breaking news last night, I may go in there and ask for a different ticket to put the better of the two on the ticket for November. Y'all play games like that, y'all. That's called playing chess. So I'll just have to see what's happening. All right, y'all, never, somebody say never in the court's modern history has an opinion been made public while the case was still pending. Politico are the individuals, the news source that broke this story last night. Again, I need to say that this has not been authenticated by anybody, but everything looks to be as if it is indeed true and it is indeed factual. All right, y'all. Last night, Politico broke the story that through a draft opinion that was leaked shows that the Supreme Court has voted plans to strike down Roe v. Wade. Please understand this is a draft opinion. And by all the opinions I was able to find the draft, it is the first draft. It's been leaked from the Supreme Court. And again, it is not the final ruling. It reads, when you open up the opinion, notice this opinion is subject to formal revision before publication in the preliminary print of the United States report. Good morning, Kelly Stanley. Justice Samuel Alito, in his initial draft majority opinion, says these words, and I'll quote: Roe was egregiously, I couldn't even get it out, wrong from the start. I'm telling you, I'm operating off of zero sleep. Hi, Deborah Johnson. Yeah, Kenny, I'm gonna get to that in a moment. Kenny said it was leaked on purpose. Hold on, I'm gonna get to that in a moment. Its reasoning was exceptionally weak, and the decision has had damaging consequences. And far from bringing about a national settlement of the abortion issue, Roe and Casey have inflamed debate and deepened division. Now, I want to take that quote just for a moment and say this. After this was leaked on yesterday, the division has widened. It has not shrunk. It has widened. Now, shared from the Supreme Court of the United States website, and I believe Isaiah has the link if you want to check it out for yourself. I want to break down the word opinion. Opinion. Yes, Dr. Angie Shannon, draft opinion. I'm concerned about a conservative activist Supreme Court. We're getting there. Good morning, Brian Costin. Good morning. So, y'all, when you go to the website, the term opinions used to refer the several types of writings from justices. Now, here's what's on their website. The most well-known are the opinions of the court announced in cases in which the court has heard oral argument. Each set out the court's judgment and its reasoning. The justice who authors the majority or principal opinion summarizes the opinion from the bench during a regularly scheduled session of the court. Now, that happened yesterday, and they have more today. Understand, these final opinions will not come out until late June or early July. Anything can happen in a draft. Okay, I want y'all to hear me. Anything can happen in a draft. Let me continue from their website. Shortly thereafter, a copy of the opinion is posted on the website. I went looking. They've had millions of hits looking for this draft, and this is what popped up. You can go to supremecourt.gov/opinions to get the full details there. All right, so that's when the ruling is going to happen. All right, so let's go with the leaked draft. Let's go with that. Again, never, no draft decision in the modern history of the court has been disclosed publicly while a case was still pending. Never, never. Somebody say never. That's never happened. So going to what Kenny Stanley put out there, it was leaked intentionally. It was leaked on purpose. Well, the question is, who leaked it? Was it the right or was it the left? Well, you got to go to Mississippi to really find out what's happening. I got all kinds of notes. Y'all's going to have to bear with me for a moment. Okay, why is this being considered? A Mississippi law. Y'all, we got to connect the dots. I'm taking you to Mississippi. And hear me, read it for yourself. Please, I'm begging you so that you have the resources and the tools to go out and talk about this. Now, a Mississippi law that would ban abortions after 15 weeks of pregnancy was appealed all the way up to the Supreme Court. Some Supreme Court justices, experts thought that the conservative heavy court might narrow Roe's scope, but it seems to have tossed it altogether. So this is coming from Mississippi, This is how it happened. And this is where Politico got the draft. All right. This is where they got the draft. We already know how they voted. They voted exactly from on partisan side. And then we don't have Chief Justice John Roberts' vote. We don't have that yet. That is unknown. All right, y'all. So I want to keep breaking this up a little bit. This is a lot. Deliberations on controversial cases have in the past been fluid. Justices can and sometimes do change their votes as draft opinions circulate. So again, depending upon where it was leaked and why it was leaked can change. So let me put this out here. Primaries that are happening in the month of May. Ohio and Michigan, today's the day. If you have not already early voted, today is today. Ohio, I know the polls close at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. May 10th is Nebraska. May 17th is North Carolina and Oregon. May 17th is also Pennsylvania. Georgia is May the 24th, and Texas is May the 24th. I give those again. Ohio and Michigan, your primaries are today. Nebraska, you're May 10th. North Carolina and Oregon, you are May 17th. Pennsylvania is May 17th as well. Georgia and Texas, you are May the 24th. Why are the primaries important? What happened with this leak, it has changed the name of the game for midterms. Now, here's something else that we need to understand. 70% of Americans support Roe v. Wade. Polls have consistently found that a majority of Americans oppose overturning Roe v. Wade. So more than 70%. I looked up one number is showing 72%. Again, y'all, this draft has not been authenticated. Y'all, this here will be an overturn since 1973. This is nearly 50 years old. So why is voting important? Again, anything can happen. Why is voting important? Because your governors are going to be decided in these midterm elections. Senate and House representatives will be determined in this midterm elections. This brief starts with, we hold that Roe and Casey must be overruled. This is what Alito wrote in the document labeled Opinion of the Court. He goes on to say it is time to heed the Constitution and return the issue of abortion to the people's elected representatives. As I am sharing this, please understand I'm here giving you facts and the opinions that have come from different media sources, not facts or opinion from myself of what I believe or do not believe. I'm giving you this information. So when we look at this and look at the terms and get an understanding of what's going on, We have to think not only this being overturned, but what else in this history, from past history, can be overturned. If this happens, you also have marriage equality at risk. You also have anything that has to do, Kim Edmondson said, right? You also have to deal with anything that has been put before the courts. What could be overturned? Affirmative action, health care, mental health, immigration, economic status, uh, sexual orientation, uh, different things when it comes to education. Do y'all know this? This is setting a precedent that could really change so much. This is why voting is important. This is extremely important. Um, People are already coming out as of last night, making the statement that they're not going to vote because their vote does not matter. Yes, your vote matters. It matters. And if we sit out on this now, imagine the direction it's going to go. Again, y'all, it's beyond the general elections. We have to look at our governors. Governors are already tweeting, back to Twitter. Governors are already tweeting on both sides of the aisle, saying how they would immediately place charges upon people and doctors and agencies and healthcare systems and the like. People are starting to think that the system is not capable of delivering justice. Let me talk about this. Here in Ohio, I don't normally watch regular television. I don't. I was watching, I think it's The Neighbors or whatever, because my father watches it. And I want to know what he's always talking about when we go do our grocery shopping, and that's happening on Thursday. And so I said, let me watch this show, because he's always going to talk about, and I always say, Dad, I didn't watch it. So I watched it. Well, as I'm watching it, a commercial comes on. And it is Josh Mandel who's running for Rod Portman, I believe, Senate seat. Rod Portman is retiring. And I'm watching his commercial. And in his commercial, he says verbally, and then it's also printed on the screen. He said, and this comes out of nowhere, Black Lives Matter is the racist. I went, what? Like, where did that come from? It had nothing to do with this commercial. Nothing at all. I actually had to go to YouTube and keep playing it because I wanted to understand, where did this come from? Why did you pop this out of nowhere? What is happening here? Well, I share that because if we want to see a system that is capable of delivering justice, we need to make sure we are voting people into the office, not by rhetoric, but by how are you going to handle your constituents? What about the taxes? What about inflation? What about health care? What about immigration? You just fill in the blank. I don't want to hear about what you think or who's racist as a representative or a senator or a congressperson or an attorney general. I don't want to see that. What are you going to do about infant mortality? What are you going to do about the mortality of Black and brown people and the disparities when it comes to health? Let's go back to the color of care. We talked about this. So imagine if this is overturned in the court system. Let's trace back to 1973 as how all of this came to be in the first place, or a portion of it, is because how people were dying in the back alleys with hangers. Yeah, sorry, students. I know I have some high school students on here, but I'm sure you've heard it already. Dying because they were performing their own abortions in the alleyways. Yeah, and they end up dying. They end up killing themselves. So what type of rules or regulations are going to be in place for us to deal with things like this? And why are we doing this so quickly? Where did this come from so quickly? Because of what's happening. Now, here it is. This will mean that then the governors, the states will determine their rules, which we already see the divide, blue states and red states. We already see some of the rulings that are coming out from Texas, from Georgia, from Florida, from other places. I can't name them all. I can't even think. This is a bigger issue than you and me. It's a bigger issue. And I understand religious liberties. I understand. I'm a follower of Jesus. I understand all of that. But at some point, we also have to take a step back and say, collectively, how do I minister to people who may not have the same beliefs that I have? And how can I make sure they're not going to harm themselves or kill themselves? I'm still going. Can y'all hang with me a few more moments? I know this is heavy, and I was really having anxiety this morning. Like, I got to deliver this message. I got to deliver this. Adrian is saying the talking points in their work has gone from concern for the people, but rather the stolen election or who aligns with who. You're absolutely correct. Jeffrey Allen James said he had some nerve. He stood in Selma, Alabama, and said he was not racist, but the truth comes out. You're talking about Josh Mandel. So we have a lot of this that we're unpacking. Leah says these commercials are nuts right now. The commercials these are the sound bites that I've been warning you for 2 years now, almost 2 years here on News in Motion. We have to get beyond the sound bites. We have to read these policies, these rules, these legislations, these opinions. It may be boring to you, but find a way to enjoy reading and really see what's out here. To all my high school students that are in, I just want to share with you that you can find this, and this is for everybody. You can find the leak brief online. Just go to politico.com and look for this headline. It's 98 pages and then 31 pages of appendix that you will look at all their terminology, the rules, the terms, everything. Everything is there. It's good for you to look that up. Have a highlighter, highlight, ask questions. Again, go to your town hall meetings to find out what's really going on. But here's something. Let's not forget Justice Clarence Thomas and his wife. Yeah, he's on the bench making a decision as a justice whose wife was out raising funds and having sound bites when it came to the insurrection on January the 6th. There's that part. So some of you are saying, well, how do you vote? I wanted to pull that up. I was waiting for it. Justice Samuel Alito, who wrote the brief, wrote the decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. Again, this has not been authenticated. Joined by Clarence Thomas, Neil Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh, Amy Coney Barrett. And then the latter three, of course, were all appointed by the former guy. So that's happening. That's happening. And if you look at these names, you have someone like a Brett Kavanaugh that the woman is still saying what he did to her. So this is somebody who's making a decision on the bench. All right. You have Stephen Breyer, who will soon be retiring. Sonia Sotomayor and Elena Kagan are working on at least one dissent. Chief Justice John Roberts' vote is unknown. And sources are saying, I'm getting this live here. Sources are saying, told CNN that he reportedly does not want to completely overturn Roe. So we have to see what's happening. But I want to say this to all of you again. This is not fear. This is what I believe to be fact. Is where's the trust? Because first time in history, something is leaked from the Supreme Court. What does that say about America? Where are we now? We're now leaking from the Supreme Court. So where are we? We got to talk about that, y'all. We have to talk about that. And again, I need to be clear. This could set up an argument to overturn any other opinion, including marriage equality. Yes, Dr. Angie, Brown versus Board of Education. Yeah, I was rattling off some of those earlier when we first came in. I talked about education. Kim Edmondson says, our democracy is imploding. Yeah, I don't know what we need to do to make sure people vote. And again, we're never going to tell anybody how to vote, but I don't think people understand what's really going on when it comes to legislation and what's happening in the chambers and now even on the bench of the Supreme Court of the United States. We have to vote. we have to vote. Someone just asked me the question. I'm looking at the private thing. Asked me the question, what did I mean earlier by going in and voting differently? In primaries, you go in and you ask for the party ticket that you're going to vote from. And with Ohio maps still real crazy, we don't even know I don't even know what they look like today. I won't know until I get there today. I even pulled up a few sample ballots, and none of them are looking the same with any of them. So I have no idea what I'm going in here to vote for today, but I'm going. They're still saying that the second part of the Ohio election will happen on August the 2nd. I don't know that either. But there's times that now that I have this information, there are times, and I've done this at least 3 times, where I will go in and ask for the opposite party's ballot, and I will vote accordingly to help knock off somebody else. I did that in the primaries of the general election, the primaries for president. I went in and I asked for the Republican ticket, and I don't have a problem telling y'all this because I voted for him as governor. I made sure I voted for John Kasich. And I did that. I did not ask for a Democratic ticket. I did that because I was trying to make sure that homeboy didn't win Ohio. I did that on purpose. I did that intentionally. People say you shouldn't do that. That's just how I roll. And for me, that's what I mean by voting your morals, voting your values, voting what you believe. And that's after doing research, y'all. I cannot express that we have to do our research. We have to. And what does that girl say on Instagram? Prepare to be sick of me, because I am all in at this point. Yes, Joy, you are absolutely correct. I believe this is a distraction. This is another distraction from the focus, which needs to be bringing the former guy to task, the insurrection. You are absolutely correct. Now, several of you asked me the question yesterday, and I want to talk about this because this fits into here. I made a statement yesterday about May being the time that the merch, anything that's dealing with voting, civic engagement, and advocacy in the merch store, all the profit will go to doing community education, so that we can travel around and do that free for the community, because we understand inflation and people don't have it. So we want to do that. Someone wrote in, and I want to read this email on purpose. And then y'all can fill up the chat however you want to. The person said, I noticed that you're selling merch to be able to do community education free for the community. Can you tell me why you just can't pay for that yourself out of your own pocket? If you really are concerned and care about the community, shouldn't you pay for it and not rely on your viewers to do so? Thank you for sending me that email, and I will respond. Just like products and services that people receive all the time, there's a price to pay for those things. Now, there are plenty that I do. I give Wednesday workshops here 2 times out of the month on NewsInMotion, where people have to pay top dollar to receive. But I'm willing to share it here because I believe in educating the community on the truth so that we can go forth empowered. To travel throughout the United States on my own dime is not even possible. But at the same time, we have to show the investment in the work that somebody's doing, because people will then take it seriously. Now, so that you really know, profit on that merchandise is only $1.55 per item. So $1.55 to buy a t-shirt or a hoodie or whatever that is, and that profit goes to me going around sharing this information with the community. That's a very small fraction. I also said yesterday, you can also send a check, and that check information is now on the NewsInMotion thread, that it goes to Make a Difference, a nonprofit of Al Edmondson here in Central Ohio. And that check amount is whatever you decide to do. And that is that you get a tax receipt for that, because they are now our fiduciary agent. Well, Why did I ask for that? I asked for that to, again, go around. There are people in these marginalized communities. There are people in high schools. There are people even on college campuses that are unaware of what to do and how to do it. And they want to connect the dots, and they want somebody other than the spin of the news that you see Monday through Sunday, 24/7, without giving the steps or how to do certain things. We want to deliver that information so that people have the education needed to go out and to vote, to serve their community, and for civic engagement. So that's why I do what I do. I like that, Kim Edmondson, period. Hester said, no explanation required. This is your platform for merchandise. Give me a break. It's amazing what people say. Lori says you can pay Starbucks $20 a cup of coffee, yet you have problems pretty much donating to a community organization. There's that. Regina says, why do you have to explain this? There's that too. I agree with all of you, but I thought best to answer it on the air this morning and not just send a message. Because even last night, I cannot tell you how many text messages, calls, or inbox messages I had, including my father. Gail, what's going on? What's happening? I know you know. Can you help me with this? And I enjoy sharing that information back with people. And I was telling people, I'm still searching. I'm still looking. I'm still trying to find this out. So, and it's my choice, and I love every moment of it. Again, I'm here without any sleep. I may have dozed off, but looking for this so I can make sure I'm giving you the factual information. As this continues to unfold, I will be sharing it with you. Just keep doing your research. You can go to the Supreme Court website. It's supremecourt.gov website. Ron Robbins says people feeling entitled. You just need to know. It's just very interesting. It's very interesting. And I will say this, and I know I'm really kind of putting myself out here to say this. If we would have this same mentality when it comes to some of these rules and laws that are being written, we probably wouldn't find ourselves in the place that we are right now. If we would ask these kind of questions to our elected officials or to those who are running for office, if we would ask these kind of questions to the President of the United States, the Vice President of the United States, if we would ask these type of questions to people who are trying to put our backs up against the wall, I believe we wouldn't have this situation that we're having right now. For some reason, all I kept thinking last night was Handmaid's Tales. That's all I kept thinking, like, where are we headed and what is happening when it comes to Handmaid's Tales? All right, y'all, with that, I need to give y'all a recall. USDA is reporting, I thought this was important, Lakeside Refrigerated Services in New Jersey establishment is recalling approximately 120,872 pounds of ground beef product that may be contaminated with E. coli 0103. The U.S. Department of Agriculture, Food Safety and Inspection Services, that's the FSIS, say that real fast, announced on April the 25th. The ground beef products were produced from February the 1st, 2022 through April the 8th, 2022. You can find a complete list of products and product codes for the beef products, say that real fast, that are subject to recall can be found by visiting somebody put this in the chat, please, www.f as in Frank, S as in Sam, I, S as in Sam, .usda.gov/recalls alerts. I'll read that again. www.f as in Frank, S as in Sam, I, S as in Sam, .usda.gov/recalls alert. So you want to pay attention to that. All right, y'all, our inspirational message today, and we're out of here. And that message I changed at the 9th hour. The message today is pray for America. Pray for America. Praying for America. Thank you, Isaiah. Praying for America. Y'all, we need to pray. We need to pray. I just go back to that familiar scripture. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray, seek his face, turn from their wicked ways, then will he hear from heaven and heal the land. Y'all, this divide is real. It is time to pray for unity. It's time to pray for a collective body of people coming together, not us and them, but let's pray for unity. Let's pray for understanding for people who are privileged to be able to get the health care they need, who are privileged to be able to live where they live, who are privileged to be able to have polling locations that are open because they have the volunteers and the community service hours of people within that community. Let's be mindful and think about everyone else who may not have those luxuries, not having transportation, not having an understanding, not having the ability to read and see and hear and to comprehend. Today's segment was going to deal with comprehension and the number, millions of people who are illiterate and what we can do to help and to build that. Well, y'all, that's happening here right now. People don't have an understanding, and there's so much out there. There's so many spins. That's why I always say here at News in Motion to research this for yourself. Research it for yourself. I don't know what we can do or how we can continue to do what we're doing, but hear me out. I cannot do this on my own. So we're still looking for News in Motion ambassadors to get the proper information out. And here I say again, by any of the advocacy, the voting, or the civic engagement merch in the merch store, all the profits during the month of May will go to doing this education. If you say, I don't want the merch, but I want to write this check, the information is on the page. I think it's pinned. If not, it's on the page and we will pin it today. You will write the check and send it to Make a Difference. They are our fiduciary agents. Al Edmondson leads that. And he will make sure we will get what we receive from that. And we will do this education. Yeah, we can't delay. The time is now. Deborah says Facebook just kicked her out. She had to log back on. And Jeff Payne says, yes, we need to pray for our country. Y'all, so much. But let me do this also before I get out of here. Self-care is important. Self-care is important. Even today, after all that I've been reading, and I'm still unpacking this, I have to make sure I cut everything off and sit back and breathe and drink some coffee or some tea or watch some hilarious comedy show, something to release this. Go get a massage or something to release this because it's heavy. I reached out to several of you this morning, so I need you to pray for me. This news today is heavy. And again, I have to do it in a way that I am balancing what I'm sharing. But if you didn't hear anything, y'all, the fact that the Supreme Court has leaked a first draft of an opinion is very, very concerning. And how do we combat this? Through our voice, which is voting. So again, Ohio, you and Michigan, you're up today for the primaries. And this is just as important as the November election. Nebraska, you are May 10th. North Carolina, Oregon, Pennsylvania, you are May 17th. Georgia and Texas, you are May the 24th. All right, y'all, I'm out of here. Until tomorrow, this has been News in Motion, a special segment dealing with the leaked opinion document from the Supreme Court of the United States. Politico was the news source that broke this. Again, this has not been authenticated as of this broadcast, but everything points to it is true. So we're going to have to watch this continue to unfold. Until tomorrow, y'all, I'm Gail Dudley, and I'm out.